How's it going, folks? It's Lobo, and thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of The Penguin, this being episode 4. And as always, if you want to catch my previous reactions, you can find those in the description because we're all sales ahead right now with this episode. And there's one thing in regards to this specific episode that I want to mention before we jump into the reaction, because it's 9 o'clock right now and I'm excited, but I just want to say this one thing, and that's that I'm aware about like the premise of this episode. If you don't know, The Batman, it's my favorite comic book movie, but I would say in my lifetime, it's the most engaged I've ever been with like a specific universe, the Batverse, Matt Reeves universe. So like quite literally every day I keep up with any tidbits, information, leaks, if you will, about where we're going. Not like plot leaks, but just a general idea of where we're going, casting, things in that regard. So for a very long time, I knew about episode 4 that it would take place like primarily in Arkham. This will be Sophia's episode, sort of like the having a glimpse into her past, into what shaped her into the person that she is today, like this psycho killer that's devilishly intelligent, however she came to be. But talk about that, we'll get into it later, but there is just one final, well, technically it was 2, but there is one final thing I want to mention. I've been thinking about this since Tuesday because I've seen nobody else talk about it. And it's theory time. I could be wrong, could be right. We shall find out, because one of the things I was talking about in my discussion was when Sophia was saying, I'm not the hangman. Look at the way everyone looks at me. And even Oz, when Vic was like, she is the hangman. He's like, don't believe everything you read in the papers, kid. And then I was like, oh, did she take the fall for someone? And then Oz ratted her out. What's going on? And then I was like, duh. Who else in the Batman do we know loves to strangle women? Her father, Carmine Falcone, strangled Selena's mom, strangled Annika, tried to, well, technically still a strangle because he put the pool stick, right? That's what it's called. I don't play pool. He put that on Selena's neck, trying to strangle her. This guy loves to strangle women, so maybe he's the hangman, and he needed somebody to take the fall for him, and he did it to his own daughter, because we all know he's not a saintly father, and she even told Zal that she danced on his grave, because Carmine's not daddy material, so that's just what I was thinking since Tuesday. I'm like, why is nobody talking about this? It could very well be him. I know that Sophia is in the comics. She's like the hangman, and I think in The Long Halloween, Alberto is like the holiday killer. But this is a different interpretation. It's a good twist. And then it's like, what if she was actually normal, completely normal, and then Arkham sort of broke her and it forged her into who she is today? That's interesting. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to get started. I'm excited, but that was just sort of my thoughts. We'll see what happens. Previously on The Penguin. Dude, we see all this chatter online about people who are like, I can fix her and all that bullshit. It's like, guys, stop. It's overdone. Why would I want to fix her? I'll be in the backseat with her. I don't want to fix her, dude. I want her to break me. I did watch the teaser for the next episode, and I think we're going to have this confrontation like fleshed out from Oz's point of view. Nadia definitely told Sophia that, hey, the man you're working with actually killed your brother and then framed your own bodyguard. So yeah, there's that.
I said on your fucking knee! Watch your goddamn mouth! I ain't so gonna...
You think we'd just sit by and watch you make excuse after excuse and do nothing?
What the fuck is she talking about?
Here it comes.
Oz, what the fuck is she talking about?
Shut your goddamn mouth. That perhaps you asked him to.
Asked him to what?
Kill your brother.
And there it is.
You didn't know.
Ah, jeez.
Nadia, you gotta listen to me. I needed Sophia to get the new drug. All right, for us. It's yours. It's fucking yours.
Damn, she's just locked in. Okay, what did happen to Sophia here? Was she just stuck with the Maronis? No way they can repair that alliance. She's calling her doctor. This is way too loud.
Sophia?
It is my pleasure.
Flashback
to
time.
welcome
Here we go.
Chairwoman Sophia Falcone.
All I can think about whenever someone says her name multiple times, if you've ever seen The Walking Dead when Daryl was looking at Sophia and he's just like, Sophia! Sophia! It's just funny. It was popping in my head. Look at Oz's hair here. He's younger. Bachelor days, baby.
My mother struggled with depression for years. When I was 9, she took her own life. That's why my father and I started this foundation. We wanted to support women and girls with life-saving services.
Think Carmine killed her? I wouldn't put it past him.
Shit. It's better than some jobs, though.
This is so strange.
You know what I mean.
I was like messing with you. It's a shitty job, I know. You have a dick, so at least you're eligible for a promotion.
God, dude, this is so weird.
Do you have a minute?
She must have really felt betrayed if they're this cordial between each other.
The last decade, and they all died the same way. By hanging. It's how your mother died, if I'm not mistaken. So Jones worked at the Iceberg Lounge. In fact, most of these women worked.
Yep, okay, it's Carmine, and he staged it.
You could help them.
So he really did make his own daughter take the fall. I mean, dude, he was willing to kill Selena, so.
Okay, Sophia.
What a terrible human being.
Alberto, where are you?
Kills all his lovers, his own wife, and she has to find her like that.
Mom?
Sophia, how's your luncheon?
Mark Strong, Carmine. I've been excited to see this. I know he got recast. He looks amazing, though.
I asked you to look into his financial holdings. Why are you such a fool when your sister's so reliable?
I know, Pop.
I don't know what to do with him. I can't have your brother embarrassing me next weekend, not with the family flying in.
I'm gonna watch him. I'll make sure that he behaves.
Thank you, beautiful. You know, he's not like you and me. He's soft. I've been thinking recently about the future. Maybe it's time to break with tradition. When the time comes, I want you to take my place. I want you to run this family.
She is the most capable. Matt Reeves spoke about this. Carmine knew she was the smartest of his children.
But the rest of the family, they're not.
They know your mind. They'll do as I say. Tell me.
Well, it's nothing. Maybe it's because of the foundation, but I've just been thinking a lot about Mom. I don't remember her being sick.
She was good at hiding it. Look, I miss her too, baby, every day. She refused my help. As much as I tried. God knows I tried.
Of course, yeah.
Picking away at old wounds. You know how it upsets me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. You still haven't told me what you want for your birthday.
I'm sure I'll love it, whatever you give me.
So relationship's very interesting. Now I'm like, I don't know. Did she take the fall for him? I know they might be subscription too, but I love that he rocks sunglasses and whatever age he is. That guy was born wearing those shades.
I've ever had relationships with them.
And the girls at the club are trained female assassins.
Shut up!
Whatever you're thinking, don't. What Pop does at work, he does at work.
So Sophia actually had a heart back in the day. Oh shit, Summer Gleason. Haven't seen her since the animated series. Did she mention that before? I might have missed that.
Official cause of death is suicide by hanging. You can see these women, they fought back, biting, scratching.
Selena and her mom.
Not the Iceberg Lounge, the 44 below where Yolanda Jones actually worked. We need to protect these women.
The scratch.
Don't look.
Hey, look at his hand. Did you see that? She scratched him.
Sophia. Sophia, please.
You don't know shit about my father. You try publishing any of this garbage, my family will destroy you.
And this is why he ratted her out. But he doesn't know the whole story.
People are gonna start to get ideas. You know, your father might not like.
Stop talking. I don't care what you think. No one does. You are my driver. That is all you are. So stop talking and drive.
Okay, well, she was kind of a viper back then, too. I mean, Carmine's daughter, after all.
Have you seen Bride number 3?
Luca's new wife.
Oz, what are you doing inside?
Your father wants to see you. He's in his office.
All eyes are on her. I think he might have told Carmine based on that look.
Uncle Luca hasn't even told his vasectomy story yet.
Why didn't you tell me you met with a reporter?
Yeah.
Did Oz tell you that? Oz doesn't know what he's talking about. Approached me, but I told her to fuck off. That's it.
Is that right? I spoke to Kenzie. Summer Gleason.
Kenzie William, the narcotics cop.
There's an open investigation. They're looking into me for murder. Why didn't you come to me?
I should have. You're right.
Do you think I did these things?
No, of course not.
How could you do this to me?
I didn't. I've never. I love you. And I know that there's an explanation.
An explanation for what?
You had scratches on your hands the day Mom died. But I know I know they weren't from her. Something else. I don't know what, but something.
What has happened to you? You're clearly not yourself. You're confused, sick.
Please.
Oz will drive you home. Now.
Listen, I get that you're angry, but I was just doing my job. Trust him, Sophia.
Shut up. If you were really looking out for me, you would have talked to me. Congratulations. You got what you wanted.
Come on. The fuck is this?
Yeah, I think he set up like the cops he has under his payroll. I think Kenzie's part of the squad too. Yeah.
Miss Falcone, step outside.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
You're under arrest for the murder of Summer Gleason.
The reporter?
Oh shit, they killed her.
You do this for him?
No, I got no idea what the fuck is going on. Kenzie, what the
You're
fuck?
also being charged with the murder of Yolanda Jones.
I didn't kill anyone. Oz, you gotta do something.
Take my advice and shut the fuck up, Penguin.
The hangman.
Court has ordered a psychological evaluation.
Dude, he's gonna pay them all off.
A number of family members have written affidavits suggesting the same. Your cousins Johnny and Carla Vitti.
Of course they're gonna back Carmine.
I have a compulsion for killing animals. Are you fucking serious? So I do an evaluation and
The judge agreed to the ADA's request. You're being remanded to Arkham State Hospital for
That doesn't make any sense.
You'll be under their care till the start of trial.
Oh my God. No, I'm not doing that. Can't you stop this? You're my fucking lawyer.
I'm sorry.
That's terrifying. Being falsely accused. Wasting your life.
He strangled those women, that reporter, and strung her up to pin it on me. He did the same thing to Mom. I'm not gonna make it in a place like that. I'm gonna die in there. Wait, right now?
You can do this. I know you can.
But it's Arkham. It's fucking Arkham. What the hell are they doing?
I'll be overseeing your care for the next 6 months.
There's Julian Rush.
There's been a mistake here, okay? All right, I know. Stop, please. All right, I am innocent.
They think she's crazy because she's just flipping out. Rightfully so, but from their point of view, it's like, that's what they all say.
Follow me.
Wow, they got the cells right from the movie and everything. This is 10 years before, so no Joker, no Riddler, and I think they're also separated by men and women too, so. That's just, that's awful. It's hell there. I mean, that's what the Riddler called it. It's quite literally hell. Every iteration of Batman Arkham is just an absolute shit show.
Hello? Up here.
What the fuck? What is going on?
I saw you on the TV. It's okay to be scared.
And it just reinforces in her own mind.
But I'm making progress.
There's the bliss.
What is that?
Oh, it looks like blood. It's disgusting. It makes them submissive. That's what she said. This episode is deeply unsettling.
Hey, she's not chained.
You killed those girls.
Girls!
Lying.
And the guards are just letting this happen.
I heard you had an incident in the mess hall today.
Dude, you watched it happen.
Why was she unchained?
They're looking into it.
Sure.
I am here because my father wants to keep me quiet.
So you're saying that your father framed you for murder?
You don't believe me.
I didn't say that.
I can tell.
What is he gonna do against Carmine?
I don't know how to convince you I'm sane when you've already made up your mind about me.
What the hell is happening? Are they gonna make him fight?
Come here so I can eat your fucking mouth. Try it.
I have no idea what's happening.
You want me to hurt her?
Prove I'm a killer?
My father, you're working for him.
Oh God. What is this, shock therapy?
You're agitated, confused. This will help you feel like yourself again.
Wait.
Open wide.
I feel so bad for her. I'm actually getting kind of teary. I can't imagine having to live like this every single day. Taking the fall for your own father.
I'm innocent.
This is kind of like the thing from Stranger Things with the Eleven's mom. When she's like, 3 to the left, 4 to the right, rainbow. When they shocked her.
What if she's telling the truth? Careful, doctor.
Trying to gaslight her, make her actually believe she committed those crimes. They need a confession. I think it's transforming into her room. Oh, is that her mom? They are breaking her mind. It's like the closet scene.
Sophia.
It's so fucked up.
You got a visitor.
Alberto?
I'm so sorry. You're not going to court. No one's gonna hear your case. Your doctor, he's claiming you're unfit to stand trial.
I did my 6 months. I deserve a trial. This is my life.
We'll file an appeal. Or try for a new evaluation. I don't know. Tell me what to do and I'll do it.
That's it?
No. Sophia, you gotta keep fighting. I'm not giving up. I swear to God, one day I'll get you out of here. Sophia!
And all it took was Carmine's death a decade later.
I didn't know Ventress was going to write the report. I tried to stop him.
At least we can stay friends now. Oh, he'll give you candy now. You don't have to lie to Dr. V anymore. You could tell him the truth.
Are you working for him? Have you been spying on me?
No?
Is that why he's giving you?
I think she's gonna snap.
We're gonna have so much fun together, too. Mine's in February, which makes me an Aquarius.
Yeah. Everyone reaches a breaking point eventually.
I told you I'm fucking innocent!
That's exactly what he wanted. Oh, please don't end. You never know with these episodes. Oh, is this present day now?
If you want to get cleaned up, there's a towel and a change of clothes in the guest bathroom stairs.
Well, Julian and her brother are the only two that ever stood up for her in her time in Arkham. And Oz killed one of them. She's very strong-minded to be even this level of sane after all those years. The irony of having an institution to rehabilitate people and just This is what they produce. This is what goes on. I mean, it's a great play on Batman mythos with Arkham and the Rogues Gallery, but seeing it on someone innocent, it's a different story.
Trusted him when everything in my body told me not to. I should have killed him when I had the chance.
Sophia.
Now I don't even know where the hell Oz is.
I have no allies, no resources.
You deserve a fresh start. An opportunity to heal.
What do you want?
To help you and to feel better or less guilty for what happened to you.
You don't have to pretend with me. You miss how it was at Arkham, don't you? The control that you had. Treating me.
I helped Alberto get you out.
And now here I am. Forgotten. You know.
Oh, no.
The way you looked at me. What did it feel like? To get to watch a person unravel. My father told me I was sick. And Dr. Ventress. And then the doctor after him. And then the doctor after him. For 10 years. They think I'm broken. I'm not broken. I'm not the one who's sick. The world is.
Huh.
You're right.
You want something? No, you know what? I want.
She's just gonna pull up. The scene reminds me of Batman Year One when he's like, "You've all feasted well. None of you are safe." You know what I'm talking about? With the long ass table in the Falcone house.
What the hell are you doing?
Supporting Uncle Luca.
You passed the meatballs.
I'd like to express my gratitude to everyone here, and it has only made us stronger. To say the true strength.
Forgive me, I've never been one for speeches, but I did want to say a few words.
Might want to excuse Gia for this.
I believe the last time we were all together was my father's birthday, 10 years ago.
It's time for bed. But Daddy said there'd be cake.
A little girl loves cake.
I was stuffed in Arkham State Hospital for a decade, convicted of murdering 7 women.
All right. I think that's...
Yes?
She's got you, Johnny.
I was genuinely surprised how many of you wrote letters telling the judge that I was mentally ill. Not that the judge needed much convincing. My father saw to that. I trusted you. I loved you. And yet not one of you tried to help me. Except for my brother. The man you all flew in to mourn. And you know, the real thorn in my side is that unlike everyone here, I was innocent. Jesus Christ, Milos has a higher body count than I do. I'd really hoped that it would be different. But I understand. I don't fit into this family anymore. So tomorrow I am starting a new life. For the first time, I have hope. To new beginnings. Cent'anni.
Name of the episode. What is her play here? She needs an ally. Oz needs an. I mean, I know they're not going to pair, but both of them have no one, and they're obviously the opposing figures in this scenario. They're going against each other, but they have no support. I don't know what the moves for either of them are going to be.
Are you ready for some cake?
What is she doing? This music.
Would you like some more? My brother and I used to sleep out here. Should we sleep out here tonight? That could be fun, right?
My mom told me not to talk to you. She said you did bad things.
She's right. I did do bad things.
Why?
My father locked me away in a dungeon with a bunch of scary monsters. I had to fight them to survive.
Am I gonna get locked away?
No. You don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna make sure that you never have to fight any monsters.
Did she get her out because somebody's going to move in to kill them? What is going on? No, they slept out here. I'm so confused.
I'll be right back.
She poisoned their wine. I don't... I'm just throwing shit at the wall at this point. I have no idea what's happening. It's gonna end soon. Are you gonna reveal what this was all about? He's dead. How? Who's that? What? Carbon monoxide? That's why she closed the window. No way, they're just all... Wait. Jesus Christ. Oh, no, wait a minute. She opened the window. She didn't actually close it because she was saving Johnny. Oh my God. Damn, Sophia. Wow. Johnny.
Put your pants on, Johnny.
Let's take a walk. Wow. And now it's gonna end. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I don't know if it was carbon monoxide poisoning. I know that's a thing. She might, I'm not sure, but she poisoned them. Originally, I thought because they had the window thing and it's like, oh, she locked all the windows, but she left it for Johnny. Is she gonna kill Johnny? I don't know. She got his daughter out. I don't think she would. I know she wouldn't kill the daughter because it's almost like she sees the life she once had, just that pure innocence before this family corrupted it. But she does still need allies, so she could use Johnny, because Johnny always wanted to get rid of Luca. That's kind of common knowledge. And, well, I don't know if Johnny really loved his wife, or, well, he was cheating on her, and I don't know if he loved the girl, Luca's wife, that he was cheating on more than he loved his wife, but he's a scumbag, so this is her play. If you guys don't know, I record my discussion the following day because I record these so late. It's 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. That's late, and I can't talk about it, but this is just still me, like fresh after the episode. Usually it's like I don't look at anything. I just record the next day and then I edit that into my reaction. But oh, what a dude. Terrible names. Kristen Milioti. She is just dude. If she doesn't get if she gets snubbed, she definitely needs a nomination at the very least. I talked about this whole cast has been extraordinary. I think she is absolutely a highlight. I knew that was going to happen way back when I saw the first picture of her smoking in the car, a leaked picture before there was a trailer, before there was anything. I'm like, I kind of studied her face and I could see a story in her eyes, and I knew she was going to deliver in this series, which she absolutely has. But as I talked about before, HBO, for some reason, in the same sort of competition here, is throwing House of the Dragon, The Penguin, and The Last of Us all competing for the Emmys, which I think is just complete bullshit. And I know that I feel like she is going to get nominated but not win, but it's just so fantastic. Dude, this show is just so fucking good, man. It's so good. We'll talk about, well, it's just going to flow to the next, it's just going to cut away, but because I need to start editing and downloading and doing all that shit and have my discussion tomorrow after I've like really, really gathered my thoughts. But oh my God, dude. So as I said, it's the next day. Here is my discussion. I mentioned this, part of the reason why I do my discussions following the next day, because how it works is I'll do my reaction, then I will start to edit it and then edit it into the next day. And then once that's all complete, I do my discussion, and there's a couple reasons why I do that. Number one is because just of the timing, it's late. I need to go to bed, and I try to do what I can within like a timely schedule. But then part of the other reason is because of just trying to internalize dialogue and detail in these things. When you do reactions, you kind of miss out on stuff. Like the Summer Gleason thing. I was like, oh, did they mention that before? Yes, they did. When you talk over certain things, I don't have subtitles. You miss them. You miss it when you're on camera. And I also have two very bright lights that are blinding me. So like all the details elude me. And anytime you add another watch you process more things, you understand things better. That's when I edit, I have to technically rewatch it again. And when you're on camera, you do act a bit differently because there are people watching you and you try to keep your emotions in check. But I won't lie, you saw it on camera when she was talking with her family during the dinner scene in their house. It kind of got to me, dude. I was starting to tear because I felt her when she was like, I loved you. And none of you stood up for me. The acting was incredible, but the scene itself and the dialogue, it was just so real and you could feel that. But behind the scenes, when I was doing the edit and I started to kind of break behind when I was like editing, I was like, oh God, was when she was first finding out, it's like, hey, you're going to Arkham for 6 months. You're taking the fall for your father. And then her breakdown, it hit me way harder off camera than when I originally... Because, as I said, because of the lights, because of you guys watching, you're screwing it up. But no, really, dude, what a heavy episode. And I want to start off my discussion by talking about, it's going to sound a little weird, but wait for me to explain it a bit. I hate these kind of episodes. And what I mean by that is this episode did something better than any of these kinds of episodes have done personally for me that I've seen. Because TV series, big series, usually always have that one episode that is either a flashback or so disconnected from the main story that you're left wondering just why would you do that? So for example, the Last of Us season 1, I don't remember the characters. I think it was Bill and Frank. Great episode, phenomenal acting. It was very wholesome, and I actually think one of them won an Emmy for it. It was a really good performance, and it was a really good episode, but the issue with it is that it completely broke up the pacing, and it didn't move the story forward because it was a flashback. And that's kind of the situation here. It's like you're following episode 3 with this insane cliffhanger ending. What's going on? It's like this next episode, we're going to take a step back. We're going to explore Sophia. We're not going to go into that, really. So it's kind of like the Last of Us situation, and I hate when shows do that. Even Stranger Things had that one episode where 11 went and found, I think it was number 8. But that episode just sucked, and it was the worst one of the show, and didn't do anything. It wasn't even a redeemable quality about that. But here versus all the other examples, this episode did have scenes in the present day, which is one, good. But the big thing here is that the flashback scene enriches the character of Sophia. It's like the missing piece of the puzzle into her character, and it actually really works. It's something so different that I'm glad this episode happened. And I did watch the trailer for the next episode because I can't help myself now because I'm like, oh my God, this is getting so good. But it's finally going in the direction that I always envisioned it going in, the sort of Oz versus Sophia. Because in the trailers, it always kind of had them in scenes together. And I was like, what's going on here? But it makes sense. They work under the same family. Obviously, they're going to be in the same room, even if they have different ideas and principles. But now it's like, no. These two are against each other. But again, just in general, these kinds of episodes where the issue with me is a big factor into my watching is pacing. I think it's one of the most, if I know the script and the writing and the dialogue has to be perfect, but the pacing too, like when scenes drag or they're out of order, it becomes unnecessarily tedious for the viewer, and it just breaks up the entire flow. It's one of my huge gripes with. I've only seen the first season because I just thought it was terrible, and I've heard the rest of the show is The Witcher. You would have one episode where it was like in the present, then it was in the past, then it was in the future. And I'm like, what? Stop jumping all over the place. You can't see the progression if you don't follow a linear path. There goes my phone. So it's just where the pacing is concerned that I was a little wary about this episode, even though I heard like everyone has been raving about this episode, which I completely understand. But it just, for me, I'm always like, pacing, is that going to work? But it really does. You get insight into Sophia. But then you also end the episode with a better understanding of her, and then her taking it's like you relive the past with her in that moment, in her delivery of talking to her family, and then her going forward and creating this massive power play to get herself in a better position now. And what a move that was. I said I'm still wondering what's going to happen with Johnny, because I don't imagine that Sophia is going to kill him. She needs him. He was Luca's underboss. He was very high up the chain. Obviously, he has connections himself. But she had him by the balls in that scene when he was interrupting her during her speech. And she was like, yes. Because he knew she could just let out the truth to Luca about me. So he had to keep himself in check. But now that Luca's out of the equation and both the women that Johnny was sleeping with are too, I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, but he did always want Luca gone, so maybe they can find some common ground here. I mean, his daughter is still alive after all, so he's still, I would imagine more than anyone else in the world, Johnny must love his daughter still, even with the scumbag that he is. It's always like your direct immediate family. I mean, that's his own blood. That's his daughter. But now teaming up with Sophia, it's the irony of it all after berating her for being a psychopath and that you can't lead. And we do have this kind of, it's the gender gap in these situations. And Lauren LaFranc, the writer, the showrunner of the show, talked about this. Whenever you have these kinds of shows specifically dealing with like the mob and mafia, it's always like a traditional thing, both in fiction and in real life, where it's the man and the like almost the firstborn son. It's very kind of medieval in that way, will lead the family. But then we had a kind of like Daenerys or well, Cersei was a little bit different. And it would be more close to Rhaenyra and Viserys, where Carmine was like, I want you to lead your family, because he knew that Sophia was not only more intelligent, but she was better suited for the role than Alberto, who was just kind of going out and partying. And Matt Reeves spoke about this in the behind the scenes thing that happened on the Batman. What would you even call that? Re-premiere? Rewatch? When the Batman was back in theaters on August 28th, what the hell do you call that? I don't know if there's a specific word, but it's eluding me right now, so we're just going to keep going forward with that. But I do know, as I said, that the showrunner, one of her things was how to insert women specifically in this kind of show and have it be a little bit different, a little bit more leaning into their side and creating very good characters, which she absolutely did. And it's an amazing character that's brought to life by the performance of the actress, who's just absolutely killing it. Even Oz's mother, for the few scenes that she's had, amazing characters. But it's funny because it's always these kinds of shows where it's a villain and then can it get you to root for them? And I feel more for Sophia in this moment than I do Oz. I know we're gonna at some point get into Oz's backstory about, I would imagine, the scarring on his face, his foot perhaps, what happened to his brothers, and just his upbringing. But I truly feel like Sophia, her life got robbed from her. It was stolen, and it was her own father of all things that pinned it on her. I know that also one of the Kennedy's daughter was almost like an influence for Sophia with her time in the asylum, and there could be some parallel to what's going on there. But that's something I'm not too sure on, because it's just knowledge that I've read about that's coming as I'm saying, so I'm not too sure on that front. But truly, God, man, what an amazing character. And it's sad to see too, because she was somewhat pure in a sense before this all happened. I mean, in her conversations with Oz, she stuck up for him when Alberto called him the Penguin. She's like, don't call him that. But then you also have the flip side where she was like, what are you doing in here? Like he wasn't supposed to be in the house. Or when she was like, you're just my driver. And I mean, but it was in a tense situation. But even kind of the deniability with Carmine, that for killing her mother, his wife, she almost couldn't even accept it. But then it was also a degree of fear of her father, because he's such an imposing figure. Arkham creates monsters. It broke her. It made her who she is. And it truly did. It robbed a life from her. It robbed who she once was. That's why I said with Gia, even though the ages are different, it almost is a representation of this purity before the family dictates where her life is going to go and just completely derails it. And speaking of Carmine, I mentioned this before the episode began. I was very excited to see not John Turturro. He played him in the Batman. Mark Strong plays him now. I knew that this recast was happening. I always imagined when we had a flashback that it was for the purposes of having a younger Falcone. We were just recasting because it's like an age thing. Even though Mark Strong is almost the same age, but he does look, this guy could easily pass for like late 40s, 50, early 50s, that kind of range. But I think it was also a scheduling thing, because John Turturro's filming, what was it called? Severance or something. He was filming something and he couldn't film this scene specifically, so they had to get someone else at the last minute. But I thought Mark Strong did a wonderful job. And I'm just gonna say it. I mentioned this on Twitter. I like his performance more than what we got in the movie, and it's nothing against John specifically, but it's another direction. I know Matt wrote and directed the Batman, and now here we have a different team of writers and direction that we're going for Carmine. But in the movie, he was more kind of that old, reserved power. He was almost been there, done that kind of tired energy, which it's almost like, ooh, he commands respect because of his experience. Versus here, he was much more imposing in a physical way. Like, he doesn't look like he's gonna beat you in a fight, but that voice and the power he has and the way he moves and he just looks at you through those glasses, there's just something in there where I'm like, I like this Carmine more. The best way I can describe it is if I was a goon and I had to say I failed something I was tasked with by Carmine, I would be more afraid to tell Mark Strong's Carmine than John Turturro's Carmine that I failed. So that's the best way I can describe it. The fearful nature, that voice, I think it suits Carmine way, way, way more. And it's more, I don't know, it's more of the Carmine I imagine from like the comics. And yeah, dude, I really liked it. I think this is all we're going to get of him, honestly, but he maximized what he could do with such a small amount of screen time. I really love, Mark Strong's Carmine. And ironically, this is also, I think it's his third DC performance because he was Sinestro in Green Lantern. And was it Dr. Sivana, if I got that name right, in Shazam. So this is his third DC role. And I know everyone loves him as Sinestro. It was great with the prosthetic and the eyebrows and the big forehead and stuff. But I think this might be his best role. Even though it was so small, this was really good. And it's just so crazy that Carmine would do that to his daughter, throw all the blame on her. It makes sense. I talked about this. He tried to kill Selena. He's like, my own flesh and blood, huh? And then he tried to strangle her with the pool stick and then use his hands afterward. If I were to do one of these edits where it's like DC villains who are broken or evil, this guy is just pure evil. There is like nothing redeemable about him, and he's amazing. he's scary, but he's just an awful piece of shit. And honestly, man, and sending her to Arkham of all places, Arkham in any Batman media is just, it's scary, but I feel like I've never seen it capitalize on as much as it has been here in what you would say the Reeves verse. It is hell, man. The Riddler said the whole point when he sent Batman on this task to bring the rat in the light, and then he said, I would see you in hell, referring to Arkham, because he knows, dude, this place it's just so bad. You even had the scene where she was trying to stab the random inmate with the fork, and she was almost begging at the end to end my suffering, because that's what it is. It's scary, it's powerful, and it hits you. I'm like, I feel so bad for her, and I would never want to be in a situation like that, but it's having these shows when you really get at the psychology of a character and you put yourself in their point of view, you feel sort of the energy that is emulating from them and the horror and the fear that being in this maddening place it messes with your mind. It's just, it's so bad. And it's kind of weird to say, but this actually makes me love Batman more. I know this is kind of out of left field, but we have such a shitty guy in Carmine that controls everything, and all these people, her own family, that are willing just to dump her into this corrupt facility of torture and pain, and the city's rotting, and there's this unbeatable tide of corruption and evil in essence, and the very few good people that remain within the city are just drowning against all of it. And then despite that, there's still one man who will try to face off against the tide. Like, it does make me love Batman more, just seeing sort of the different sides of these stories. To have in this scenario all this horror, and then to think about there is still one person who's doing everything they can to make a difference, to get at these monsters, these scary people, to make them afraid, and for the good people, the innocent people, almost be the light in the dark. It does make me love my guy more. Oh, dude, I would just be so grateful that at least one person is truly trying to. 'Cause Gotham is a terrible place. Just we're a city in America. It's almost like there's a curse against it. It's just I know it's so disconnected from the Batman in a sense because we're not getting any Batman. I know it's a different side and still no mention of Batman. I don't know when we're gonna get another mention of Batman, but I think the Penguin has done such a good job. It's not a necessary watch, I've heard. And from what I've seen, maybe perhaps because we have to see how this plays out, but it's not a necessary watch for the Batman Part 2. Matt Reeves just said it enriches it, which I absolutely believe, but it does add certain weight to scenes like the Riddler bombing. When it was from Vic's point of view, like you felt that horror, and then when you rewatch the scene of the Riddler when he's like, it just the new context completely adds to it. Carmine with the history of he's the Hangman, seeing it now in the Batman, it's just different that we have more insight into the character. Even Oz, just it adds so much that I appreciate that. Even if it might be a little too disconnected from the Batman, it's like it's hard to think that with all this going on that there's still a guy dressing up in a bat suit out there. It just it feels alien. And now next week, of course, we're gonna have finally like the actual. We've had the gang war, but now we're gonna have these two chess masters, Oz and Sophia, against each other. And Sophia's made the amazing play to get Johnny on her side, eliminate the competition. And now she's going to rack in the Falcone men because she's the smartest and she made such a play that I don't know if it's going to be out of fear, almost like the one that her father commanded, that these people are going to follow her. But what is Oz's move now? Is he going to go back to the Maronis and somehow weasel his way? I don't know. And it was also interesting in that scene when he was on the ground with Sophia that it's hard to get at that man. He's such a good manipulator, but I don't know when he was talking with her, when he was tearing up, when he was like, I screwed you over and I'm sorry and I'm never going to live that down. I don't know if he was like being genuine there. I think he was still riled up over the whole situation. I think he cares about, obviously, Vic way more than Sophia, but I think Vic was getting to him and then he just kind of broke down in another way and was just pouring out to Sophia in a sense. But then immediately with the Maronis, he was like, oh, I was just using her, get the drugs. And I don't know if he was saying that to get to the Maroni side. See, you never know with this guy. So I don't know if he could use that as a way to repair the relationship with, and if that was truly his intention with the Maronis. I don't know. Obviously, I know in the long run he was going to play them too, but for how long was he going to be, how long were their goals align? I'm not too sure on that front, but next episode, I feel like it's going to be a hell of an episode, and I'm so excited for that. I do have a lot more to say about this episode, but I'm going to keep it in check. So if you want to talk about it, always feel free to hit me up down in the comments or over on Twitter. I'm there all the time, every day. And the Batman, the Batverse is pretty much all I talk about on Twitter, in all honesty. So yeah, if you ever want to talk about it, dude, just send me a message. So next week we have episode 5. We're now halfway through the series, which is very sad, but it's also exciting because we're going to get to the point, I would imagine, during the fall, well, end of fall. I would say like December, January, February, that 3-month gap, I feel, is when we're going to get Matt Reeves being like, here's the villain of the Batman Part 2. Here's who we're casting and all this good news, because now we'll finally know, okay, where does Oz leave this universe off at in episode 8 in the finale, and when Batman is picking up where we left off with a new point of view shift. We can't spoil that by saying, here's the direction for the Batman Part 2. I don't know if there's going to be any inclination that the Penguin is going to show us which direction it's going in, or if the plot of the second movie would perhaps spoil the finale. I don't know, but I would imagine that's part of the thing, and also scheduling thing too, because apparently they're not even in pre-production. James Gunn confirmed, which I was like, huh, the script has been done for a month. I don't know, just whatever you do, get Greg Fraser back. I know he's going to start working on June 3 at some point, and schedules might overlap, but we need that man back. We need everyone who worked on the first movie back, because this is gonna be special, dude. The Batman Part 2 is gonna be special. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this though. Amazing episode, amazing acting, man. This is slowly and surely becoming one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. I'm absolutely in love with the characters, the story, and the tone of this is just, it's dreadful, it's painful, but it's real. It's unveiling the horrors and almost sincerity of life that are ambitions and emotions brought to light through violence and treachery. And it's just, it's magic. Again, I hope you guys enjoy. We have the next episode next week and perhaps a movie reaction. I keep saying that every week, but I do feel like next week is going to be when I finally get back to those. So until then, have a great rest of your day. Rest well, and until the next.